Okay, so I decided to choose the concept of print, and the specific assessment that I chose was called Book Handling Knowledge, which was found in Chapter 6 of our textbook. And so the developmental level for this assessment would be toward emergent readers. And the assessment is taken mainly in kindergarten. That was all that was really mentioned. So, anywhere from, I guess, 3 to 5 years of age, maybe even 6 years old. And the assessment is given at least twice, if needed, during kindergarten. And so the purpose and skill area, so the purpose is obviously observing and seeing a child's book concepts, their directionality, understanding, you read a book from left to right, you hold it a certain way, understanding concepts of letters and words, and then concepts of punctuation. And so that's including any of the sorts such as, question mark, period, exclamation point, comma, and quotation marks. And the skill area for this would be that being able to read and understand print and the acknowledgement that print conveys a message. So the whole idea of concept of print is knowing that you're not just looking at scribbles on a page, they're words, they mean something, they're conveying some sort of story or something like that. So the assessment materials that you would need is the teacher checklist, which I will go over, the book handling knowledge guideline sheet. Both of these things I found on pages 98 and 99 of the textbook in Chapter 6. And then the last thing you would need is a picture book, including pictures and words, and you would need to make sure that there is a variety of punctuation used in that book as well. So we'll go down here. So this is the checklist, and as you can see on the left side here, it says all of the things that you would be assessing and asking them to do. So the first thing says directionality, so specifically, knowing pages read left to right, they understand top to bottom. Print carries message, word by word pointing, function of punctuation, concept of first and last, concept of word and concept of letter, and then concept of capital and lowercase letters, so being able to identify those. And so the other part of this is you can see that there's several different sections. So obviously this assessment can and may be taken several times for a specific child during the school year or just to do. So there you can put the date. And when you're giving the assessment, you can either put a check mark in each of these boxes if they've met the understanding and requirement, or if they didn't, you can put an X. Or also you can just put the date that they got it or they didn't get it. So the next thing was scoring procedures and interpretation. So the scoring, if a child shows mastery of a concept, you would check the provided space. If a child does not show mastery of a concept, you would leave the space blank or write what the child did or said. So for example, this is the first page of the assessment. And so there's several questions. So the first one, for example, would be you're testing for orientation of book. So you're going to tell the student, I'm going to read you the story, but I want you to help me. So you're going to pass the book to the child, holding the book vertically by its outside edge, spine towards the child, and you're going to say, show me the front of the book. The next question is, you're testing for the concept that print, not pictures, carries the message. So I would turn, in the picture book, if I was working with a child, I would turn to the first page of the story and I would say, I'll read the story, you help me. Show me where to start reading. Where do I begin? And so that's what they would identify, you start at the top to the left. The third question is for directional understanding. You say, show me where to start. Show me where to start on this page. Which way do I go? Where do I go after that? And then you can see alongside the right side here, that is where you would be seeing, where you would be check marking if they got that concept, or if they didn't, maybe you're leaving it blank, or maybe you're writing what they said or did instead. And then you can be able to look back through those responses and really look at that child's progress. So the related instructional ideas and the interpretation. So basically from this assessment, it allows a teacher to see, if the child has a pretty good understanding of the concept of print and can maybe move them towards, reading, becoming, not just an emergent, but becoming into that more beginning reader, and then being able to write with correct use of letters, capitalization, words, and punctuation. And so the related instructional ideas that I had were, as a teacher in the classroom, you could encourage children to bring books from home to share. You could provide daily opportunities for students to do shared reading. You can use name cards, nursery rhymes, and room item labels to help students recognize important words. So these were just kind of some strategies or ideas that you could implement into the classroom for these students who are emerging readers and or those students who still don't have that concept of print and need that additional practice and visual learning to exceed those expectations.